you buy this book, and then the first page it says, don't publicly perform any songs in here. Hey everybody, I've got this Led Zeppelin book. I bought it a few years ago off Amazon. It's the complete lyric and chord song book. It's actually pretty good. I'm going to say a little bit about the book in a few minutes. But I wanted to draw your attention first to the legalese in the the title page of the book, because I think it goes to explaining a lot about the messed up way our legal culture has affected music. Now, just look at this statement. But anyway, so you buy this book off Amazon, and then you get down here and you read this very threatening, lawyerly language. Almost as like a lawsuit, threat right here, on page 1. So you read it, it says, no part of this book shall be reproduced, arranged, adapted, recorded, publicly performed. So in other words, you can buy this book, but don't you dare play these songs unless you're all alone. I mean, if you're all alone, you can play these songs. But if you play them for anyone else, you need to get written permission. No part of this book shall be reproduced, arranged, adapted, recorded, publicly performed, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted by any means without written permission from the publisher. In order to comply with copyright laws, please apply for such written permission and or license by contacting the publisher at alfred.com permissions. So you buy this book, probably $20, I forget the price. And they're saying, I hope you enjoy this book. If you actually want to play these songs, you need to contact us for permission, but it's going to look really nice on your bookshelf, and thanks for your business. So you buy that book, oh boy, I'm going to go out and, play me some Zeppelin out in public. That's always good. Everybody likes Led Zeppelin. They say, hey, no part of this book shall be reproduced. Okay, well, that makes some sense. So you can't go up to Kinko's and have them make you a copy of this book, and then run off 1,000 copies, put a ring binder on it, and sell it with your name on it, because they obviously did a lot of work. It's pretty meticulously done. I actually like I like this in a lot of ways better than Tab. I like it better than watching a YouTube video where they go through every little lead line for 45 minutes for a 12-bar solo. I'm not cutting those down, but I actually like books like this. It just kind of walks you through, gives you the basic chords. It wouldn't be very helpful if you didn't know the songs, but if you know the songs and can kind of take these bare bones versions, in some ways this is one of the best ways to learn Zeppelin, I think. And you've got all the breaks in there. It's actually pretty accurate. And you've got the chords. But anyway, I could see if they said, well, you can't, they did all this work, so you can't just copy all their work with the copy machine and sell it as your own. Okay, that makes sense. I guess that also means, if you go to your friend's house, you can't copy a page off and give it to him just so you both can have the music. It can't be arranged. I'm not sure what that means. Adapted. Come on, it's Led Zeppelin. There are blues songs in here that are from before World War I. Can't be adapted. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So it can't be recorded. So now, am I recording it right now? Maybe they're talking about me. Am I breaking the law by recording any part of this book? Or when I think record, I bought a Led Zeppelin book. It says I'm not allowed to record. I think, gee, if I sit there and, make a recording of Bring It On Home or Black Mountain Side, which was actually by, what's that great guitar player? What's his name? Hey Siri, who wrote Black Mountain Side? But anyway, there's Boogie with Stu. So you can't record anything. Really? Okay, so you bought this book, but you're not allowed to record it. I'm assuming that what it means no part of this book can be recorded. So if you go play some of these songs, are you recording some part of the book? There's Celebration Day. Awesome song. Are you recording the book? Good question. Going to California. But look, here's the one that really gets me. No part of this book shall be publicly performed. So you can buy this book, you can put it on your shelf, you can look through it in the privacy of your home. It's your book, but whatever you do, for God's sakes, don't play any of these songs in front of anyone else. Don't play. I guess that's what that means. I mean, that was definitely not written by a guitarist, I doubt. Maybe it was, but it certainly wasn't written by a hippie from 1969. I can tell you that. So you buy a book and they're telling you don't the girl. Let's see, that's one I don't know. Some of these might be from Coda, and you know, Presence and Led Zeppelin 4. I tend to not know Presence, Coda, In Through the Outdoor as well. But anyway, so you're not allowed to perform these. Is that what they're saying? No part of this book shall be publicly performed. Does that mean you can't read it? Well, these lyrics are mostly by Robert Plant, and like I said, a lot of Zeppelin songs actually go back well before the 50s. So what does it mean you can't publicly perform it? Does that mean if you read these lyrics somewhere, which Alfred's Publishing didn't even write, you're violating Alfred's Publishing's copyright? What does that mean? Like I said, I definitely support copyright. Like, I definitely think it would be wrong, immoral, and rightly an infringement if you just printed this up yourself. But that is... You buy this book, and then the first page it says, don't publicly perform any songs in here. And these are the people running music, and then you wonder why young people don't know any songs. They can't play any of these songs. Hey, I bought this book. I'm going to learn Achilles' Last Stand. Jimmy Page said that was one of his very best songs. Oh, wait, you can't play it anywhere. Can't play it. You can think about it, you can read about it, you can muse on the greatness of it, but you can't play that song. Can you imagine? Just look at that. Look at this book. I got a couple of my old books. Now my mom bought this. Look at the size of that. That's a honker. That's 200 books. This is a book from the 70s. You can see my mom bought it in the 90s at a garage sale. But look at this. And this came out in the 70s, and it's all current music. After Midnight, After the Gold Rush, All by Myself. That's Eric Carmen. Anticipation, Carly Simon. Barracuda Heart. B. Well, that's Neil Diamond, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Benny and the Jets. Best of My Love, the Eagles. Black Water. Doobie Brothers. Just 200 songs in this book. It's a big thing, and it's cheap. And by the way, you get the piano music. And in the 70s, when you bought a book like this, they didn't have some big lawyer threatening you with the lawsuit if you performed any in public. That is ridiculous. And, you know, a lot of people, they say, well, a lawyer says we can't play that in public, so I don't know. Better just not do it. So better be on the safe side. And that's how we get in the screwed up situation we are. Look at Hotel California. Got to Be Real. I don't know that one. Four Strong Winds. Oh, I was good. That's Ian and Cicely. And, you know, I think Ian just passed away today. And Neil Young did that song. Right? The great Canadian group. I saw that movie Festival Express, which has Janis Joplin. She's kind of the focus of the movie, but the band and the Grateful Dead, but also Ian and Sylvia were in that. But I've got other books too. Dr. John piano book. Kind of goes through, teaches you to play like Dr. John. Hopefully, good luck with that. But it's actually a pretty good book. But a lot of those are traditional. Here's Broadway. Can you imagine if you bought, these are all old books. Can you imagine if you bought one of these books and it said, whatever you do, for God's sakes, don't play these songs in public. There's 50s and 60s rock. This is just a handful. Look, we got here. Too Much Monkey Business. That the Yardbirds did that one, I think, right? Long distance information, get me Memphis. Oh, Maybelline, why can't you be true? Little Queenie. You know that Let It Rock little video I did. I'm certainly no Bob Seger, but I did try to show the guitar part. But that's Little Queenie. Johnny Be Good. Oh, I'm not seeing. This is an old book. I've had this since I was like 20 years old. I don't see anywhere in here where it says you can't play these songs in public. Can you imagine how ridiculous that would be? Cat Stevens. I could go on. All these great Cat Stevens books. Foreigner, Catch Bullet 4. Oh, no statement saying you can't play them in public. This is an old great songs from the turn of the last century. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because I actually like this book. I actually would recommend this book for someone that wanted to learn Zeppelin tunes as songs, because that would be one constructive criticism I have of a lot of the way people learn Zeppelin is they focus on the licks. They seem to think of it in terms of licks, solos, bends, slides. All that's important, but a lot of that goes to the touch of one Mr. Jimmy Page, and you're gonna have your own touch. Definitely look at him as an example. But or even things like setting your amps and. But this reminds us that these are songs, and you can play them as songs. Some more than others, but Zeppelin, you can play them as songs in the evening. And those chords are kind of nice. It wouldn't be helpful to you if you didn't know the song, but if you know the song, you can kind of figure it out. Look up there, kind of figure it out, and in a way, it's a more comprehensive look at the song. So I do like this book. And I was going to kind of talk about this book, In the Light, off Physical Graffiti. Great. Well, that's a good album. Cashmere. Look how they have Cashmere. What else we got in here? Living, Loving, Made. See, some of these you do need to kind of learn the riffs. But you know what? You can kind of learn the riffs. So some of the real riff-based songs, like Living, Loving, Made, you definitely want to learn the licks and the riffs. Misty Mountain Hop. But see, you can kind of figure out what they're doing. Boo, boo, boo. You can kind of figure it out from that. Moby Dick. So, but I think it really works well on a lot of these kind of chord songs that Page did so well. But I kind of wanted to say that because as much as I like this book, and I'm not blaming Alfreds or trying to be critical, but I think it's sort of a sign of our times that you buy a book of music, and music is to be given, it is to be shared, it is to be loved, it is to be nurtured through the centuries. And what do we get? Don't play any part of this book in public. If you want to play any part of it, I guess that's what that means. And if that's not what it means, then maybe they can clarify. And the other thing about this kind of language is they don't want to clarify. They want to if you did something and you played going to California at your high school graduation party, they don't want to bug you, but they don't want to come out and say it's okay either. So they have this kind of vague lawyer language, which is not straightforward speech. That's one of the hallmarks of good language, is it's straightforward. So they've got these kind of weaselly statements, but it actually says you can't publicly perform anything in this book. And if that's not what it means, they could clarify, because that's a pretty appalling statement. I just kind of wanted to share that. Thanks. God bless.